All right, good morning, everybody. I know there's a couple of you. Yeah, sit down, take a seat, learn about some products. Don't be shy. We're going to talk about a couple of different products today. It's early in the morning, so I try not to be too enthusiastic. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. Morning, Dave. So a couple of things we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about solutions with grout, we're going to talk about solutions for ramping, and we're going to talk about ANSI 118.15 mortars, which is for large format tiles. I'll start there, gentlemen. You can all go right ahead. I'll start right there. So first things first, if it's a specification and it's ANSI 118.15, you have to meet all of the standards, not some of the standards. If you meet some of the standards, you don't meet the specification. It's that simple. I almost hit a home run. I mean, I hit it hard enough to be a home run. It just didn't go over the fence. But I mean, had it gone over the fence, it would have been a home run. No. Did it go over the fence? Yes or no? Does it meet the standard? Yes or no? If it meets the standard, it meets the standard. MAPEI currently has 10 products that meet the ANSI 118.15. The key difference in those products as compared to some of the other products isn't necessarily greater bond strengths. It's heat age testing and flexibility. There's a whole bunch of different standards for that. I believe there are 12 in total. As always, I always bring this up, but I think it's really important from a manufacturer's perspective. All of our products come in 4 languages: English, Spanish, French, and man pictures. Please go ahead and follow the man pictures, because as a guy, you won't read any of the other languages, even if you can, but you will look at the pictures. Figure out how much water you need, and that's what you mix it with. I'm not here to tell you how to install. I'm here to tell you how to mix my product to make your installation go great. That's all I'm here for. And that's what we make these products. Remember, the magic is in the bag. It's in the packaging. You're not going to make these products better by doing anything to them. You're only going to make them worse. You can't improve these products. You're not smarter than the chemists with the PhDs that we have working for us and other manufacturers have working for them that make the products. They understand the chemistry. If they're telling you 5.5 quarts, there's a reason they're telling you that. They know, they've tested it. This is how they get their results. So we'll start with the grouts. My buddy Gerald over here is using a premium cement-based grout. Now, why is that important? Well, I'll tell you why. Showers, fountains, jacuzzis, steam showers, Alaska, New York, Texas, Florida, Kansas, Costa Rica, Brazil, Portugal, the Tierra del Fuego in Chile. All of North, Central, and South America, this product works. Comes in all 40 colors that MAPEI makes, because you guys have told us you need 40 colors. We have matching silicone sealants, T-rated sealants to go with it for movement joints. Now, what Gerald did is we mixed it with the proper amount of material. Notice Gerald's not going crazy with the water to clean it up. Yeah, that's a bigger grout joint than what most people are using these days. However, I'm here to show a grout demo, so if I used a little tiny grout joint, I wouldn't be showing grout. So I picked the biggest one. This actually goes up to 3/4 of an inch. We're pulling for 3/4 inch grout joints. We think that's the future. Maybe. But this product will go from a 1/16 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch. That's a pretty big span. It meets ANSI 118.17. or 0.7, which is pretty darn cool. It's a high performance grout, has less absorption, higher bond strengths, and really good flexibility. Here's the thing: fountains, swimming pools, jacuzzis, interior, exterior, facades, and again, in Alaska, New York, Texas, all over. It doesn't matter if there's freeze-thaw conditions. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the desert. This is the premier grout. It's a rapid setting grout. What that means is you have the same amount of time to pretty much get it out of the bucket. It's what happens after that 45-minute window. A lot of things happen quickly after that window. Here's another thing with this product. Once you clean it once, you've got the joints dressed, it looks good, and there's a little bit of haze on there. You don't necessarily have to come back with water to wipe that off. You can dry buff that off, because every time I add water to this product, I'm pulling the color or the pigment out. Now, I said a key word, pigment. Every time I put water into this product to wash it, I'm removing pigment, which is changing the color. How do I avoid that? I go over here what Dario's doing. What Dario did, And what Dario's doing here is Flex Color CQ. It's a ready-to-use grout. It's already in a bucket. There's no mixing. Now, why is that important? We're getting a lot of flack in our business about crystalline silica dust, about mixing on jobs, about things like that. Maybe you're in a scenario or a situation where you don't want to mix, you can't mix on the job. Here's a product that goes ahead and fulfills that solution. Let's talk about where you can't use the product first. No fountains, no swimming pools, no jacuzzis, no submerged environments, no commercial kitchens. All of those, yes, over here, no, over there. Now, your shower at your house, absolutely. Your back patio, absolutely. As long as water's moving, as long as water's flowing, you can use the product. Guaranteed to be the color that you and the customer wants because it's a clear acrylic with a color-coded quartz inside of it. So you're looking through the clear and you're seeing the color-coded quartz. There's no pigment. You're not washing the color or the flavor out of the product. So now you are not getting that, it's the wrong color complaint from the customer. As a matter of fact, I always tell everybody, when you get to the job with the product, you open it up and you show the customer, this is what it's going to look like. This is what we want, right? Good. Good, you close the lid. That's the other thing. Once I open the lid, I've got 18 months shelf life here. 18 months. So I do 10, 12 feet, I close the lid, I go back and I clean it. I do 10, 12 more feet, I go back, I close the lid, I clean it. You're like, well, that doesn't sound fast. I also don't have to go back and clean it 3 times because I got so fast and sloppy that I smeared it all over top of the tile. I can control the product. It's on me as the installer. Here's how this product works. You give this to an installer. The first time he uses it, because we're men and we love change, they're going to complain, whine, and moan. Oh, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Oh, I can't use it. Second time, it was okay. I'm figuring it out. By the 4th time, you don't hear a peep from them. They just show up on the job. You as the owner, here's what happens. You don't have to go backwards. I hated going back to jobs where there was blue tape on the floor or little red dots and, like when they open up the blind and the light shines across it, all these things happen. No, I don't want to have to go backwards to a job. This prevents that from happening. So 2 premier grouts, if you would please. Thixotropic, my favorite subject matter. What's thixotropic? All of our mortars, the T rating that you see on products. You see, MAPEI is a true international company. So what that means is we use the ISO codes and the ANSI codes when you look in specifications. So thixotropic means that the product, when I agitate, it moves. When I let it go, it stops moving. Ketchup is thixotropic. I turn ketchup upside down, nothing happens. The ketchup doesn't move. I shake the bottle, the ketchup starts flowing. I stop shaking the bottle, the ketchup stops moving. Point here. I have a large and heavy tile on a wall. I go ahead, I spread the mortar, I take the tile, I move the tile up on the wall, I break the ridges down, get it set. When I take my hands off of that, it doesn't continue to slide down the wall. It stays right where I put it. That's thixotropic. Now, go ahead, Mr. Markham, would you please give me a wiggle? Stop. See how it stops oozing out? A little bit more, please. Stop. So what that's doing is it allows me to move the product and wiggle the product, and then when I've got it set, it doesn't continue to flow out. Thank you, sir. I'm not saying I want you to work on top of your floors. That's a sin. You're only supposed to do that in large, thin panels for some reason. But anyways, that's another subject. All of MAPEI products have the ISO codes on them. If you don't know about the ISO codes, it would really be to your benefit to get to learn about them. So for instance, this is Ultraflex LFT. On the ANSI specifications, I do not have my glasses, meets ANSI 118.14 and ANSI 118.111, or 0.11. So what that means is it can bond the plywood and it's flexible, correct? On the ISO codes, it's a C2TES1P1. What? What is that? This is how you can compare apples to apples. Because I'm going to tell you, ANSI, the A in ANSI stands for, anybody? American. So do you think in Italy they're going by ANSI? You think in France they're going by ANSI? These places have been putting floors down for 2,000 years. No, they're going by the ISO codes, the International Standards Organization. We go by both. We combine them. You want to truly compare apples to apples, you find out the ANSI specifications for a product, and you can line them right up there and compare apples to apples. C2TE, C stands for cement. 2 is improved performance on the bondability. T is thixotropic. Remember what he just did right there? E stands for extended open time. S1 stands for flexibility. P1 stands for it can bond the plywood. This tells you everything you need to know right there on the packaging. And you can line up 3 different products next to each other and look at the codes and go, we need that one. Or, we don't need that one, it's too good. We don't need to go over plywood. We just need to go over, it's a 12 by 12 tile in a foyer on a cement slab. You can pick the right product. What Mike did here very quickly, thank you Mike, is Planislope RS. Planislope RS is a rapid setting sloping material that in a sloping format goes from 3 inches down to 1/4 of an inch. In a trench can go up to 5 inches neat, no wire necessary. Here's the kicker, 1 to 2 hours I can go ahead and waterproof that. Because everything's about going faster in this day and age. Never once in my 25 years of installing did anybody ever tell me, Sam, slow down. You and your team are going way too fast for the job. That has not happened, and I don't think it's going to happen. Planislope RS. So, premier cement grout. Thixotropic mortars that meet ANSI 118.15. We make 10 of them. They meet all the standards, not some of the standards. That's an important. A sloping material that in 1 to 2 hours I can waterproof and be on top. If I need a flood test, then that depends on the waterproofing, and I would stay tuned for a rapid setting waterproof material coming up. A product that's always going to be, this is black grout. That's the hardest thing. Dar, let me see your hands. Did you wear gloves? Okay. Do you see any black stains? Anybody ever grout a floor with black grout? Does anybody remember blueberry grout? Like when you look like you had Smurf arms for 3 days? Those things, because that's the dye and the pigment inside of there. There is none, so therefore he has none. This is also a cement tile. One last feature here. If you went ahead and put a cement-based product on top of that cement tile, it would stain it. Notice with the Flex Color CQ, there's no staining. One last feature. We have a sound mat because the condos associations here in Florida don't want to hear about peel and stick membranes. They want to hear about cork and crumb rubber. This is a 10 millimeter. We have a 5 millimeter and a 10 millimeter sound mat. Just going to use this. I couldn't figure out a better way to demonstrate the value of a sound mat. It breaks that wave up. It stops and kills the wave from transferring down. If you have a neighbor down below you, you live in a condominium, you're going to need something that's 50 and up. The ratings for this is 54 and 56 on the 10 millimeter. On the 5 millimeter, 52 and 54. We have peel and stick membranes that are 50 and 52, and we have one that's 49 and 52. So if anywhere within the range for the sound deadening properties that you need, we have 4 different options for you. Are there any questions? Stunned you into silence. So listen, I didn't start off right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good. Listen, 2019 is really shaping up to look like a good year. I want everybody to go out and do good business. Be proud of the work you do. No building gets a CEO until we put the floor in. They're waiting on us. We need to remind them of that every now and then. Do good work. Learn constantly, because when you look around this show, there's constantly bigger, different tiles coming out. That's forcing manufacturers to make different mortars to go ahead and work with those tiles. You need to stay on your A game. This I've been doing it for 30 years thing, that's awesome. Hopefully you've been learning for 30 years instead of just I've been doing it this way for 30 years, because things are constantly changing. And if you don't believe they are, just pull the cell phone out of your pocket and take a look at it. 5 years ago, it didn't look like that. And on that note, thank you for attending. I have one of the best demo teams out there. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. You guys are awesome. If you're currently using MAPEI products, thanks for your business. If you're not, give us a try. You won't be disappointed.